Hello, guys, and welcome back to the Supercoach Experience podcast. I'm your host, Brendan Savage, and we're here for the first episode of the off-season podcast. Today, we bring to you TikToker, Instagrammer, absolute Bulldogs tragic, Winston Neville. How are you, Winston?
Good, how are you?
I'm very good. I'm very excited for you to be here. You're the first of the off-season. How do you feel?
It's a privilege, mate. Absolute privilege.
So,
Number one.
So I've actually been in contact with you most of the year.
Yeah.
And I think at the start of the season, before everything started, we're going to do something.
Yeah.
We waited till the end of the
Yeah.
year to do it. But I think this is the perfect situation to get you in. When I put up the post today, I'm not going to lie, a few people said, "Who's that?"
Yeah, I saw one of those comments. I was like, righto.
I think if you don't have TikTok, understandable.
I think it's
that's your platform.
understandable anyway, to be honest.
It's such a small world, the little TikTok world, but it's like there's so many people, but they just don't follow to where you lead your path,
Yeah.
if that makes sense.
Yeah, no, it's a weird one because, like, as I said, like, I'm just a normal bloke anyway.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
I'm not cut if somebody's saying they don't know me because they probably don't, to be honest.
Well, for people that don't know you, TikTok, it's where you started. How'd you get into it? And you grew a bit of a following, and then it just went from underneath you, didn't it?
Yeah. So I started TikTok in 2019, and I literally just started it just for a giggle. So the true story behind me starting my TikTok was it had just come onto the scene. It was probably right after Musically, because obviously it was Musically before, and I listened to a lot of Gary Vee, and he's always yapping. Well, back then he was always yapping about like get on TikTok, and I didn't do it like because I don't have like a business or anything.
Yeah.
But it was always in the back of my mind. And then in one of my classes, this chick had like 60 followers, and she was always going on about how TikTok famous she was. And I was like, I reckon after one video, I could surmount that. And so I was like, just as a giggle, like made a video. My first video was like me kicking a goal. And just put like Travis Scott over the top of it, a couple of filters. And then that one, like, TikTok must just make your first video go nuts or something. It got like 3,000 views. And then...
It really must, because I remember early on when I started TikTok, I had like 100,000 views on one video, and it was just like a random video, me pretending to be David Warner or something.
Yeah, it's weird.
And like, but like after you put some effort into it, it goes down, and then but like, so you had over 11K followers on TikTok at one point.
Yeah,
or was it 13?
I got up to 14. I got up to near 15K, and then got banned. So that was in like April. Oh no, it would have been June, July this year, after the Bulldogs Titans game.
I love how your timeline is what Bulldogs game that was.
I don't go off months. I go off who did the Bulldogs play.
It's kind of like
week.
Sam Sulek at the moment. He goes off like when his last bulk was, or that's his time frame. Is so funny.
Yeah.
But TikTok, tell me about that. Like, what'd you put into it, and like how much emphasis did you put on that as a content creator? Because I feel like with TikTok, you could put so much effort into it, and yeah, you still get loyal followers, but like it's the other stuff that gets you all the other accolades, if that makes sense.
At first, I was just making random stuff. Like I was doing like a little bit of NRL content, but I was just making like just really stupid videos, just anything that came to mind. I'd post it like anything. If I could pull up my old TikTok and go to the bottom, like there's some random videos back there. But yeah, I started going hard at rugby league content last year. About halfway through last year, I had maybe 5,000 followers, and I sort of just went, I want to like have a crack here and like get to 10K and like try and monetize it. That was my goal. Like, and with uni, it's sort of the way my course works at uni. There was like an assessment where my TikTok could be like the assessment, and so like my assessment was like for uni, it was get 10,000 followers and make a cent or like make $1. Like that was my goal. Like just monetize it, and that's what I did for like that semester and got to 10K. I think I made like $30. And so that's when I started going hard at it, and then it just sort of flowed on from there.
How did you make money from TikTok directly?
So from TikTok directly, you do it through like the live videos.
Yeah, okay.
And like getting rewards and stuff.
Yeah.
And they've increased so like obviously people pay for like the little gifts.
Yeah.
And then you get like a kickback. And back then it was nothing, but they've sort of increased it now, but it's still not that much. And then just like a knockoff jersey thing, like sort of reached out to me and wanted to do a collab as well.
Hey, reach out to me too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so I did one with them, and
yeah, that's pretty funny because someone bought a few jerseys from me, and
Yeah.
I actually thought that they did a pretty good job for what they were.
Yeah.
But yeah, they didn't send them. I think they ended up sending them eventually. But
Yeah, right.
but yeah, interesting. So what was the main goal there? Like, obviously, you said it started as a hobby and stuff.
Yeah.
But when you start posting TikTok and rugby league stuff constantly, there's got to be like you've got to kind of realign your goals.
Yeah, I guess I just wanted to build a platform and just like have something I could build myself off and build a bit of leverage. I guess working towards like where I want to end up in terms of like employment. Like I want to work in social media at a club. Like that's where I'm at the moment, or like create my own thing. Like that's sort of just opened up through what I've been doing, like as a goal. But yeah, back then it was pretty much just create a bit of leverage, like almost like just create a resume or a portfolio, and then also just see if I could monetize it and just have a crack.
And you've done that, haven't you?
Yeah.
Yeah, like Picklebet. I've got that here. How have they been for you guys? And you've got a podcast.
Yeah.
Tell us about that.
So yeah, at the start of the year, after the YKTR stuff, which is how we met, which we'll get into later.
Yeah, we'll get into it.
But that's when I had a TikTok like last year. That's basically all I was, and a little bit of Instagram. And then I was sort of like, I need to like expand. So I went YouTube. It like went harder at Instagram, expanded to YouTube, and was like, I need to start a podcast, because part of that uni assessment that I was talking about, one of the 3 goals I had was like start a podcast like weekly consistently, and I just didn't do it. And then I sort of came across Zane just through social media and through the Sportshed TV charity match, and he lives in Wollongong, and like that was the perfect opportunity to like do a podcast, because I always found just doing it by yourself is tricky. It's easier if you have someone with you, like a guest or a co-host. And so I started the podcast, and like I wanted to just like build up my portfolio again and just do that weekly, just to have something to fall back on or like show for myself. And so that's how the podcast sort of started.
And Picklebet has helped that keep flowing a little bit.
100%.
They're a good bunch of legends, Picklebet. Shout out to them. Use code TURBO or hot dog, depending on where you're coming from. But yeah, I think they've in the betting world they've done good things, and especially for content creation, like reaching out to guys like you, myself. I know they sponsor some people who get like no interaction on Instagram and stuff like that. So the fact that they're out there helping a lot of people.
I feel like Picklebet, they're very good at, in terms of like recognizing where like the content landscape is at the moment. Like they make a lot of their own content, collabing with like who they sponsor, that like the Cruz brothers and that. And so Picklebet are doing really good, not just as like a betting company, but also like as a content production.
I think that's why I was so attracted to them when I reached out to them. I had a meeting with them, and they were just so. It was just so exciting. Just their view on things. Like they're not about making money; they're about obviously making money is the number one goal. But through that, it's not just spamming ads in your face. It's this other content that they kind of put out there that's nice and new age. But back to the start, you're a Bulldog supporter. I feel like I've seen you go to every single game this year.
I missed 3.
You missed 3?
I missed 3. So New Zealand, Gold Coast, and Bundaberg.
So
North Queensland.
That means you travelled to Melbourne?
Did Melbourne, did Magic Round. So but I got lucky with the draw, to be fair.
Yeah.
I got 2, technically, if you include Canberra, 3 interstate games. But
yeah.
And also I got lucky because I had flight credit. And so that helped me get to Melbourne and Magic Round.
For sure. With so you do game day like vlogs as well. What does that bring to you, and what do you feel like? Do you feel like there's a space for that in the future? I know I've seen BKS Sport do it.
Yeah.
Personally, it's not a thing like I watch, but like obviously like I'm not massive or anything. So like
I don't know. The game day vlogs is a weird one, because I just sort of did it at the start. I was like, I'll just do it because why not? Just for content. And if it like goes terrible, I'll stop. I think I said like after 4 weeks or 8 weeks, I was like, I'll do it for the first couple of weeks of the season, and then I'll just go from there. And it sort of like it didn't take off, but it didn't flop, and it was like pretty easy to do. You just film yourself.
Yeah.
And like you sort of get like at first you just forget to film anything.
Yeah.
But then as it goes on, you sort of just try and film as much as you can and piece it together, and some people enjoy it, and so I just put it out there.
Well, it's funny because I went on your YouTube a couple of weeks ago, and I looked at the game day vlogs, and like looking at the game day vlogs versus your podcast numbers, like your game day vlogs get quite a few views.
There was one point at the season where they were like, they really took off. I think it was once again around the Titans game. I feel like the better the game is, the more people
Yeah.
go watch the vlog, I suppose, as well. And then it was weird because I thought Magic Round, that was a big one for me. I was like vlog Magic Round, this would be the best vlog ever. And it like kind of flopped compared to the other one, so it's weird. But yeah, that's just trying to expand myself to like YouTube rather than just being on TikTok.
I think that's definitely the play, but I think you've got to have content out there to try and make it happen. I did see one of your game day vlogs, the Matt Burton finish from 40 meters out on the sideline. That was crazy. Was that Cowboys?
Yeah. That's like my favorite game this year. Like, that was
and
insane.
you got it on camera. It was a perfect view too.
I got so lucky with just like where he wasn't, because I usually sit towards the back of the kennel.
Yeah.
But Golden Point, we all just went down to the fence. And, like I think it was raining early on as well.
Yeah.
So like under the shot of we went down to the fence, and then it was just coincidence that that's where he kicked it from, and I had like a direct line. And then I even put that like on Twitter and stuff, and it went nuts.
That's
on
crazy.
TikTok as well. Yeah.
It's funny because like when you recorded that, you probably knew that was going to go nuts. Even though everyone sees like every other angle on Fox Sports and whatnot, but you just know a fan's pointed that. Like, do you remember the other year when Stephen Crichton come on the field and his first touch he scored a try?
Yeah.
Just moments like that. It's so gold to get on.
Yeah, sometimes you film something and I'm just like,
you're just like, you
like,
know,
I'm
it's going to
glad
hit.
I got it. That's why I'm like, as I said, like I just try and film anything I can, because like you don't know how a game's going to play out.
Yeah, and it's funny because like you could film a whole game and just think, oh yeah, that was a standard game, but something in it could spark the fans' interest. Like you never know what's going to go off.
And
sometimes.
that's sort of what motivated me to keep doing the vlogs as well. Like, almost FOMO. Like, what if this is the week I decide not to do it?
Yeah.
And like the most hectic game happens, and like I could have had it. And so
Well, I think the fact that you're pumping out that content every week, you're doing the podcast every week. Yeah, add something else, and bloody, you're a content bloody machine.
Content cartel.
Content cartel. I guess moving on to the YKTR stuff. So that's how we met. We pretty much got into, it was like this competition. We got into the top 5, and it was a massive opportunity to become the third person in what now is the Levels podcast.
Yeah.
When that happened, did that like kind of make you think, okay, this is much more achievable than it seems?
No, that was a huge point. That was a huge confidence booster, but like not ego wise, like not me walking around saying, oh, nearly got into YKTR, but more so just for myself knowing, all right, like I've now been recognised at I'm not better than other people, but like there's something here, like I'm a sniff of like doing something with this. And so that was a huge confidence booster.
Well, the fact that these people, I went through it as well, so I can speak from experience. These people recognizing you as someone who could potentially be part of their team, whether like, let's be honest, in the interview, I bloody bombed it. I was like so nervous, and like Willie's asking these questions, he's full on and bloody saying, fuck you, Tyson Gamble and stuff. All that sort of he wasn't saying that, but like it was intimidating, and it was hard, the interview, and I feel like I bombed it. Towards the end, I think I reeled it back in, but the fact that I got there and was recognized, it just felt really good.
And it's cliche, like you said, we were in the top 5, and it's cliche, like, oh, it was a good experience or whatever. But like it really was. Yeah. Because there was like hundreds of people that applied for it, and to be put into the top 5 by these people that I've looked up to for years, and I see as like some of the big dogs in the Australian sports media landscape, rugby league media landscape, it was like pretty good. And as I said, it was a confidence booster. When
you got picked, I know myself, my thoughts were, this is the ideal job I want to get into.
Yeah.
I think since then it's kind of realigned, and like, but when that happened, did it kind of realign or reassure what you want to do in this creation space?
Well, yeah, so at that time, and it's sort of just still similar. As I said, the goal is to either work in social media at a club or for like one of the independent outlets. Like, I don't really want to work in like Fox or Nine because it's just too agenda driven.
Yeah.
And so it's either build something myself, roll into something like Bloke or Levels, like an independent thing, or work at a club. Like obviously the Bulldogs would be the ideal one, but yeah, going through that, like as you just said, like that was at the time, and sort of still is, like that was the dream job, like or definitely a really good entry point into where I want to go. And so I wouldn't say I've realigned my goals off the back of it, but as I said, just like boosted the confidence to go, instead of like sort of be half in it and going, this is something I might want to do.
Yeah.
It's more so like, this is something I probably can do.
Well, going into that sort of space, it's like it was so crazy. It was just like, this is my environment.
Yeah.
And yeah, I'm 100% with you that it's definitely something to look forward to. But I think the play is like too many people want to jump on the back of these like Hello Sports blokes and levels. They all started from somewhere, like especially Hello Sport, who aren't from an NRL background. Even Rugby League Guru, like I know he kind of piggybacked off the back of bloke, but he was already pretty well established before that. So
like, I'm pretty sure he was like doing that as his thing before he aligned with bloke.
Yeah, exactly. So I think the goal should be for a lot of content creators to pretty much do their own thing and create their own thing, because it's so possible. Like going into that made me think it is possible. Yeah. But yeah, that was crazy. And off the back of that, Sportshed TV charity match was off the back of that. And was that where you met Zane?
Yeah.
And
pretty much
because he lived in your area, is that where the podcast came about?
Yeah. So it would have been, I would have known about Zane just on TikTok, just seeing him on TikTok. But I don't think I knew he lived in Wollongong until the Sportshed TV charity match. And like, I didn't know him well. Like, that's when we started talking.
Yeah.
And then Sportshed TV were like trying to organise content for it. And they were like, all the Wollongong boys, like, we'll get you together. And so it was like me saying, and do you know Trademark Sports?
Yes.
He's also on TikTok. He's good. We were all meant to like get together and do content. And that's when I found out Zane lived in Wollongong. I was like, oh, and Trademark as well. But he lives in Port Macquarie, but he's Wollongong based. And so that's where I was sort of like, with having like wanting to do the podcast in the back of my mind, I was like, that's a potential co-host, someone I can do it with.
Did you reach out to Trademark as well?
Yeah. Sort of. I didn't like directly say, hey, you want to like do the podcast, but I sort of was like, we're about to. And I've got a mutual friend with him. Like I know somebody that knows him. And so I sort of knew he was based in Port Macquarie rather than Wollongong. So yeah.
So you kind of put the feelers out before actually asking.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Well, it's worked out pretty good, I suppose. But the Sportshed TV charity match, that was... What were your expectations of that? Because I watched that online. I don't know, didn't know what to expect, but I thought they went above and beyond.
Oh, yeah. Well, like, I didn't really know what to expect either. Like, you sort of, I guess, have a feeling like it might just be like this small little thing. Hopefully people watch it. But it was definitely bigger than I thought it was going to be, and like way more successful than I thought it would be. Like, shout out to the Sportshed TV boys. Like, that's not easy to organise.
It's not, and I feel like they can only grow off that as well.
Yeah, 100%. Like, it's only going to get bigger. Like, there's definitely something there.
What do you think it should look like in the future? Because obviously... Are you worried about your spot in the 17?
100%, bro. Mate, I didn't know how I got a spot to begin with. And so that's why I'm like, I'm here for the inaugural one, and then like Kempy will come along and replace me. Like, as they get that's what I expect in the future. I think they'll get bigger creators in, and then hope like more sponsors, which is more money, and then you just grow it.
Well, it's funny because a lot of big creators were on board, like the Guru and Clarkie's column were all over it, but I think... I don't know if they're match fit at the moment. But,
I think there was a lot of worries with just injuries as well and stuff, because it wasn't insured. It was like sign this document, and if you hurt, you're sort of screwed. But I'm like, that's just because there's a lack of funding. Like if as it grows, like obviously that all gets covered. And like from what I've heard, there's a few bigger creators that are keen to jump in it.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, that puts your spot in jeopardy, doesn't it? What number were you last year?
No, I was off the bench. So what hope do I have?
Number 16, 17?
Yeah, it would have been around 16, 17.
Oh, geez.
So, yeah, I'm shaking. I think I was 17, yeah. So I'm like, one person joins and I'm 18th man.
Oh, that sucks, doesn't it? it was really good, and like they got the full highlights package and the live stream. Like they weren't going to do the live stream too, weren't they?
Yeah, not originally, and then a lot of people were just like begging for it, and they were going to do it through YouTube.
Yeah,
like just free through YouTube, but then their YouTube like wasn't big enough to go live yet.
Oh,
and so then they did it through Bar TV.
Bar TV. Yeah, I think that was a really good move, because that ended up so much content came out of that. Like all the. I remember Danny and Blake, the Blake guy scored a try, and like just so crazy. I'm so excited for it next year. I'll definitely be watching.
Hopefully you get a run in it, mate. Put the feelers out.
No, my goal kicking videos are out there. I could be a specialist goal kicker to come on
and kick
some goals, and then that's it. All right, punters and dribblers.
Yeah.
What's it like being a weasel?
Mate, I'll tell you this for free. I'm not a weasel, but I think I'm the rat. That's an inside joke with me and my mate Howie. Shout out to Howie.
Who's this?
He's just a mate.
What's his name?
Ethan Howard.
I know a Howie.
Yeah.
Howie's probably a common nickname for someone named Howard.
Yeah. Shout out to the Prime Minister, John Howard. But he doesn't listen to the Hello Sport podcast.
Yeah.
But he's a dribbler. Like, we talk all the time.
Yeah.
Like, we play Fortnite together and just literally just dribble. Like, we're not playing Fortnite to play Fortnite. We're just,
so
our way
like
of staying in
these
touch.
ones in public.
And so, I sort of got him into I guess the culture of Hello Sport, the come-ons and all that.
Yeah.
And then the other week, I was like, bro, how are you not in this Facebook group? Like, this is your cup of tea.
Yeah.
And so I brought him in, and that was I reckon a week before all the rat stuff happened.
Yeah.
The rat chat. And then out of nowhere, he's put up the post. He put up a post saying, Winston Neville's the rat confirmed. And everyone's just calling me the rat, and it was funny as. It was a giggle for me. And it's good being in there.
It's such a culture, and I think Hello Sport have nailed it in that you need a culture underneath the podcast. Don't make the podcast the vocal thing. This group, people post in it, and then they want to listen to that podcast the following day.
Yeah, it's almost advertising.
Yeah, it's crazy because I don't listen to Hello Sport too often.
Yeah.
I listen to it here and there when I see guests that I like and stuff, but when I know something is on punters and dribblers that I know they're going to talk about, I listen to it and I enjoy the shit out of that episode. When Ryan Selvage started posting Dribblers a Day, I was listening to every podcast straight after that, and I was loving it.
And then you had the content wars off the back of it. There was even still now, but there was a couple of days where obviously you got the Scotty Bellotti. That's where everyone wants to feel. That's the best post in the group. And there was 3 or 4 posts a day that were not as good, but pretty decent posts. Everyone just trying to get that crown, I suppose.
There is a leaderboard type thing. Are you aware of this? You're aware of this,
surely. I'm aware of it. I know where I stand.
I've recently become aware of this.
Yeah.
And
you grinding for those
hot tip, I'm racing up the ladder board at the moment.
Where are you standing? Surely you know.
I overtook a fellow Baggy Green member in Liam Brennan.
Oh, that's big.
Yeah, that's big. But the bar, to get to you, is
I'm not even that, mate. It's
I know,
step,
I know, and Ryan Selvage has only come on the scene recently. Shout out Supercoach 365. I've always known he's had this ability for him, but that next level content dribble is crazy. If you don't know what we're talking about, pretty much Mary Fowler and Nathan Cleary were caught in public doing their thing, having an ice cream, and then everyone was posting memes and stuff, and you posted a meme as well.
Yeah, I posted a couple. I think you know what I did? My biggest hit in terms of that sort of meme, I think I googled. I was trying to find a picture of one of them at a cafe. Yeah. And I was going to Photoshop the other's head onto it, and I think it was Nathan Cleary and his ex-misso in a cafe.
Yeah,
and it was the perfect image. It was a little bit blurry and stuff. I was perfect. So I put Mary Fowler's head on it and got Howie to text me. I said, hey, bro, just text me that you've taken this photo. And so the text were fake and everything. And so I put up, because I didn't want to put up just the photo.
Yeah.
That's too fake. I want to put up somebody's texted this to me. So it looks a little bit more real, a little bit more dribbling. So we did that and I put that up and it went all right.
That's taking the dribble to the next level. Yeah, so I'm looking in the leaderboards at the moment. You're at 4th, which is, who's Josh Orley and Patrick Fletcher? These guys?
I don't know. I don't know them too well. I've had a look through what
you know who
post.
they are, though?
I've heard the names because I've looked at the leaderboard. They sort of just post a lot. That's all it takes.
So you're 4th. Selvage
build me a statue just quietly.
4th
place.
5th. 6th, Zach Wheeler. 7th, John Olive. Union dribbler.
Yeah. He's shot up since the World Cup started.
We'll wait for that decline, buddy. Josh Figures, Kendrick Haddon of Ashes villain fame.
For fame.
Mitch Williams, Jeff Corbett, Lockie Om, Tom Cooper of getting deep into the
of Michael Ennis fame.
Ethan Jacobs, and then Brandon Savage, who has recently taken over.
So you're up there.
Yeah.
That's decent. That's decent.
I'd like to say I'm about 10th. So
How many
4th,
points
5th,
are you on?
6th, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So I'm 15th. I was about 7,000 points the other day. 14,500.
Yeah, so you doubled it. Because I think I'm around 25, so like,
Yeah.
that's a good
Yeah, oh no, I've been
good
working
climb,
hard over the last week because I've noticed this and I'm like, this is a game in itself.
Well, I think they obviously like in the Hello Sport world, if you're watching it, you got no idea. You're probably confused as, but like, there's the baggy green,
Yeah.
and then there's the shout out on the pod. If you get mentioned on the pod, you're massive. For me, like I've always like thought, how cool would it be if they like mentioned me?
Have you?
And because
They
they
have?
did the leaderboard and they read out like.
Oh, do they do the leaderboards every Monday now?
Nah, they said they were going to, and they did it once.
Yeah.
But I think I was at 4th or 5th.
Yeah,
when they
right.
Did it. So like I got the shout, and I had people messaging me like, bro, they said like, they gave me a shout. I was like, oh, what?
Well, it's funny because I feel like even though I'm making waves, I'm doing it silently. Like you only just noticed that I was that high up. Like
well,
I'm doing it in increments.
I've seen like your posts, and I'm like, but I don't see it. I'm like,
Nah.
oh, he's trying to get up. I'm just
No,
like, oh, that's
I think my posts are no good. It's the quick comments that I get.
Oh,
Because when you comment on someone's post,
as in you commenting on their post,
like I think a
and
few
getting
ones,
reactions, like funny comments.
Yeah, so I
that's a
think
shout.
that's where I've done my work here.
Yeah.
But yeah, shout out to Ryan Selvage. He was gonna send in a video to heckle you for your Dribbler's Day post.
That was like I got the Mickey taken out of me, and like I don't know what people thought of me, like not as in like obviously everyone hated me, but I don't know if everyone thought I was like would get upset about it or not.
Yeah.
But I found it the funniest thing. I couldn't care less. Like the post he made. Like, it was pretty mean, but it was so funny for me. 'Cause I was having a giggle about it.
Yeah, it's funny because you don't know his kind of reaction. It's funny. This is like 20 minutes of dribble.
This is so
punting.
niche.
So it's so niche. But if you're... So, for context, you posted Dribbler's Day is like it's like Women's Day that Ryan Selvage come up with.
I think he posted a bunch consistent, like a couple of days in a row. And then there was a week without it. And so I'll give you my thoughts behind the post because I'm not a dog.
You're trying to give everyone their...
So what I did, so he hadn't posted for a week, and I thought, like, I love the dribblers. I'm like, I miss it.
Yeah.
I was like, if I post one up, he'll see it, and he'll be like, oh, somebody's trying to steal it, so I'll post more. And it worked.
He did.
To a
he
degree.
did.
It backfired a little bit as well, but like he posted more, and so that was the thought process behind it from my end.
It's funny. I think I made a breaking news post.
Yeah,
saying breaking news. Ryan Selvage slams Winston for copying his copy, whatever. But it's funny because a lot of people took it to heart.
Yeah.
And like, I knew like you wouldn't be taking it badly, and like you weren't directly copying it.
Yeah.
Like kind of copying it as a meme kind of thing.
Yeah.
Because it's not like, oh, this is my thing
I wasn't trying to steal it. No, I wasn't trying to overthrow the great Ryan. Nah, because like I don't know him personally or anything, but like I respect him. Like, he's good content.
Nah,
I've
but
got nothing against him.
if you're not part of that page, that is a good laugh, and we're gonna move on from that because
good idea.
you do not want to be listening to this if you don't know anything about it. But I want to throw a Bulldogs quiz at you since you're the biggest Bulldogs fan I know, probably besides Jason. What's Jason David like?
Bro, he's a legend. He's genuinely such a big fan. It's wild.
It's funny because I see a lot of comments like people putting shit on him and stuff, and like most of the time I get when people put shit on someone online, but like this guy is just so like post video about saying, oh, my mum, like about his mum, like he loves his mum and all that sort of shit. Like I can't imagine
he cops it for no reason.
Yeah,
like he's done nothing wrong ever. Like he's just like he's got a disability and like he's open about it and stuff, but people just pick on him because people are mean. People suck.
Yeah,
it's unfortunate because he's just
sweet kid, passionate, and he's not an angry dude, isn't he?
Like, he's a nice bloke.
Yeah, crazy. All right, Bulldogs quiz. You ready? I've got 3 questions for you.
I'm nervous. I don't want to embarrass myself.
This is a doozy. This first one.
Yeah.
2020 Bulldogs Player of the Year.
Josh Jackson?
Incorrect.
Who was it?
It was Kieran Voran.
Oh, yeah, okay. True. That
why
sort of makes sense.
That's why I put that in there, because do you remember him being a big part of the club?
Yeah, I remember every game he played, he was our best player. Right. But He didn't play a lot of games.
So maybe that year. Well, that
that
was
year
the
might have
COVID
strung
year.
enough together.
That was the COVID year where they played 20 games.
That
So
would have been his. No, that rings a bell now. I remember. Yeah, a lot of the time, our player of the year leaves the next year. That happens a lot.
Oh.
And he left the next year.
That was kind of like a guy
That's
on
weird.
our podcast. He names his Supercoach team after like a Sharks player,
Yeah.
and then they leave the next
Yeah.
year. It's such a curse.
It was
These
like,
things.
Yeah, like Jeremy Marshall King got it last year. It's weird.
Oh, did he
Yeah,
actually?
It happens all the time.
Oh.
But yeah, that rings a bell.
Yeah. So 20. How many tries has Hazemel Masri scored? More or less than 160?
I'll go less than 160.
Correct. 159.
Oh, only just.
Well, that's why I put it there. I was like,
No, I could have actually named that number.
oh, you reckon? Who do you reckon the second? Who's this? I didn't get the stats for the second top try scorer, but who's the second top point scorer? This isn't part of the quiz.
Halligan.
Yeah, this isn't part of the quiz, but yeah, good one. And who has scored the most tries in a match by a Bulldogs player?
Oh, I know this, but I'll tell you why I know it. Because I used to always think it was Ben Barber, but there's somebody above him, and I don't. Is it like?
There's actually two players.
Was it Lulisi? Is that how you say his name? Is
no,
even one of them?
No.
Vangana?
It is Vangana. Scored 5 tries against, I think it was the Cowboys.
Back
And
in
they
like
won
02, 03, 04. Those days?
I don't know. I didn't put the year down, but they won 32-6.
Yeah, wow.
And the next best was 5 tries by Edgar Newham or something. 26-20 was the score.
Yeah, right. True.
I think that was
scored all of them.
Yeah,
Get
so
the ball to him.
these players are scoring 5 tries. So, yeah, you're thereabouts with the Bulldogs.
Nearly.
A bit past your time, isn't it?
Oh, yeah, I guess. I mean, like, I was born in 02, so
What made you start going for them?
just born into it.
Born
just like literally entire family. Like if
Yeah.
you take my dad's side, outside of like as of I guess maybe 10, I've got cousins that don't go for Bulldogs, but like as of when I was born, in my dad's entire family, there was one non-Bulldogs fan.
Oh, no.
Like it's all Bulldogs fans. It's so good.
I've never been into that. My dad was a Bears supporter.
Yeah, okay.
So, like, I was a Bears supporter, and then they got kicked out of the comp. So,
Yeah.
I was old enough to know when they got kicked out of the comp. So, I had to choose from there.
Yeah.
And I've kind of, like, I was a Newcastle supporter for a while, and then I started being a Manly supporter.
Yeah.
And, like, I get a lot of shit for that.
Yeah.
But that's
Okay.
all right. But, like, I feel like ultimately, deep down, I don't follow a side. Like,
Yeah.
I can't be as passionate as someone like you because...
Well, yeah, like it's all I've known. Like I always like tell my mates the story that I was born in April,
Yeah.
02. From the moment I was born, the Bulldogs won like a 16 game. They went on a 17 game winning streak in 02. I was born like 1 or 2 weeks into that winning streak.
Oh, my God.
So I was born. They went absolutely nuts, and then they got done for the salary cap.
Well, they can only go downhill from there, and they have.
And so like I'm used to getting disappointed by the Bulldogs. It
Yeah.
happened as soon as I was born.
I was actually going to kick off the show with this, but how do you think they're going to go next year?
They'll win the comp.
That's one. Pass patrol.
Yeah, no, they'll win the comp. Dead set.
You believe that?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, I've said it since 2014. Like a
You
lot
s-
of people
oh,
think because of the pattern.
Tell me
a
why.
lot of
Tell me why.
A lot of people think I'm joking when I say this, and it's only become like, I guess, a trend in the last couple of years. But like, I'll reference Howie again because he's like one of the mates I still talk to. But all of my mates from high school can like say that I've said it since 2014 grand final week because I'll go through the pattern and I'll sort of explain it. So like in 1974 they made the grand final and lost. 84 they made it and won. 94 they made it and lost. 04 they made it and won. And then 14 they made it and lost. And so grand final week when they made the grand final, I thought they were going to win the grand final because I was just like, that's sort of, I guess, just how you are when you're a kid.
Yeah.
But like, I was also like, if they lose it, it means they're going to win 2024 because like the pattern's alive. And then they lost the 2014 grand final, and like since then I'm like, they're going to win 2024. Like, just it's a certainty.
Clip that up.
Like, clip it. Put it up next year.
It's actually funny because a lot of your clips on your podcast, I like watch them, and it's like you saying, "I'm going for a bold call here." Bulldogs 13 plus.
Yeah.
That's not bold of you. How many houses do you have, by the way?
I'm in the negatives easily. not a lot.
For context.
I was going to say, I'll tell you what, when you're putting your house on the doggies every week, it's tough enough. When you don't own a house to begin with, like,
it's funny. Last year, Parramatta game.
like when they won, yeah.
Or was it the Tigers? No, it was Parramatta. I think that was the first video I saw of yours,
Yeah.
and that was like before I knew who you were.
Yeah, that
like,
one went nuts.
Yeah, it was. What was it? The Bulldogs have never lost to Parramatta on a Monday or something. Or
That one was. Oh, it's funny I can remember it. That one was the Eels had lost to the Tigers Easter Monday,
Yeah,
and so I think at that stage I'd only been doing them weekly for a couple of weeks,
Yeah.
just random as stuff like because of this the Bulldogs gonna win.
yeah.
And that week I said because Eels haven't won on a Monday all year or something. Like put your house on the Doggies.
Because they'd
Lost one Monday game. Or they'd played
Yeah.
one Monday game all year and lost it. But just like as a GR, like they're always the most stupid things, but they're always accurate as well. That's the
Yeah.
thing. And I'll put that up. And like before the game, probably didn't even get 1,000 views. Like they don't usually do it. But then the Bulldogs like upset of the year, towed the Eels up, and everyone was coming back to the video.
It was
These
just
dudes
nuts.
are profit. And yeah, that's when the put your house on Doggies thing sort of took off. And like people come up to me, and they're like, are you gonna put your house on the Doggies?
Well, you probably lost all the houses
Yeah,
after putting your first house
Mate,
on.
the amount of people I've coming at me saying, "Mate, I don't have my house because you don't." I don't have my house either. We're in this together.
Oh God. And the footy preliminary finals this week. Warriors versus the Broncos and Penrith versus Melbourne. What's your predictions?
At the start of the finals, I made a bold call that Storm had. I did like my entire bracket, and so far it's been correct. And I said Storm to beat Panthers this week.
Oh, no.
And like as of right now, like if I'm putting my tip in this week, just as of now,
Yeah.
like Panthers will win. But I'm going to stick
You just
true
wanna
to my
follow that.
prediction because it'd be cool to get the whole bracket. So I think Storm.
I was right in everything up until the Knights game.
Oh, you went Knights
I
over
went
Warriors.
Knights. I really thought Knights could shake it
Yeah,
up.
I thought they were a big chance.
Yeah, but the Warriors. It's hard not to see a Penrith versus Broncos final,
yeah,
isn't it?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, like I'm tipping Broncos to beat Warriors. Yeah.
I want Penrith to get the three-peat,
Yeah.
but I'm scared. I think the Broncos are the team that can match them.
I'll actually, just going back to the 2024 thing,
Yeah.
I'll give you a bit more. The last team to go three-peat, the Bulldogs won it the year after.
That was Parramatta in 1981, wasn't it?
Yeah.
1981 to 81, 82, 83.
Yeah, and then Dogs won 84, 85. So Panthers.
So you kind of want Penrith to win it.
just to like give me more hope.
And then imagine if Stephen Crichton goes there, they win the comp.
Yeah, he'd
4 comps in a row.
Yeah, that's wild. Hey.
And 5 grand finals in a row. It
Yeah.
hasn't happened yet, but
Yeah, back to like the tip. I think at the start of the finals, I said Broncos to win the grand final against Storm, but I still think I think they can beat Panthers. It'll be a good that's the grand final we deserve.
Yeah.
Panthers, the two best teams all year.
yeah, for sure. All right, we're gonna play a bit of NRL bingo. All right, Winston. So we're gonna play a game. It's NRL bingo. You do this on your podcast, and I
Yeah.
thought it was a fun game to play. So pretty much, we're gonna choose a player from either side and from each side of the panel, and if we get that player, we get that spot. So it's
Yeah.
like tic-tac-toe.
Yeah.
So you can go first.
Oh, thank you. I don't normally get to go first. Usually Zane beats me at scissors, paper, rock.
Oh, let's do the scissors, paper, rock
alright.
then.
I suck at scissors, paper, rock.
Scissors, paper, rock. Scissors, paper, rock.
Oh, yeah, let's
fuck.
go. Yeah. Zane's been teaching me. Nah. All right, so first up, haven't even looked at this. We'll go Bulldogs because that's nice and easy. We'll go Bulldogs, Panthers, the one and only Matt Burton.
Matt Burton. That's a good one. I like that. All right, I'm going to go Para Dolphins, Ray Stone.
Oh, that's good. That is also a good one. All right. Let's go Para Bulldogs. Reed. Reed Marnie.
Oh, you arsehole. Let's go Roosters, Doggies. I'll go Dylan Napa.
Yeah, nice. Shout out to Dylan Napa back in the NRL.
Yeah. Oh, this is current players, by the way. I feel like I always see opportunities for old players, but it's cheating, isn't it?
Yeah, 100%. All right, give me Dolphins, Panthers, Sean O'Sullivan.
You can go. Oh my god. Oh.
Don't sell yourself short because I still got to get the box. I still got to be able to name the player.
All right, let's go Manly Penrith.
Yeah.
I'll go Corey Waddell.
Hate Corey Waddell. No, jokes. Love you, Corey Waddell.
Same birthday as Tom Drabojevic.
There you go. There you go. The more you know. All right. So I got to go. If I get Manly Roosters, I win, and this is where it's mind blank City.
Well, that's
'Cause
why I
the
went.
pressure gets to you.
That's why I went the Manly Penrith one.
You know one as well because you're a Manly fan. Have you
Would I?
Have you got one in mind? No.
I actually don't. Oh, I kind of do.
As much as I'd like to get, I don't want to sit here and waste your time.
I can't think of anyone either, eh?
Oh, can you actually not? Surely you
No.
can. You're a Manly fan.
I can't.
All right. And then this is the funny bit because I'm always like, all right, I'll do another line and then I just mind blow. 'Cause I'm like,
Then you're
my
like,
mind's-
I'll get this one, but you actually
Yeah.
don't.
Let's try and think of someone else. Because I'll go Dolphins Roosters and then I'm like, I'm
Can't
still
even-
thinking
I
about
can't
Manly
even-
Roosters.
Can't even
Yeah.
think of one from there.
And then you get to the point where it's like, I haven't fact checked this. Is there one? And you just play mind games.
True.
Surely there's like Manly Para.
I do know one from Manly Para.
I'm just gonna forfeit my turn.
Righto.
I'll play fair.
I'll go Manly
Yeah,
Roosters.
surely.
It's probably too early to say this, but Jackson Paulo.
Oh, 'cause- I want-
Nah, that doesn't
He's
count.
not
that
current.
Doesn't count. Oh Jesus. Now I'm rattled.
Surely there's one.
All right.
Oh, I got one.
Oh no. I've got to get this.
I think. I don't know. I don't
know.
know. Oh yeah, actually I don't know. I think I might have one. I don't know if he's played Manly. Now that I think about it. Actually, yeah. Now I'm thinking about it. I don't think he has played Manly yet.
Oh. Nathan Brown? Nah,
I don't
think
know.
so. I don't
I
think
don't
so.
know.
I'll go Manly Para, Sean Lane.
Oh, that works. See, you can now we're just both competing for this middle spot. I was thinking Matt Lodge, but he hasn't played for Manly. Hey, has he? I'll take Matt Lodge.
He played. He did his ACL.
Yeah,
for Manly,
that's what I was thinking.
so,
I was
yeah.
like, I wasn't sure if he'd played a game or not.
No, that was a
Yeah.
good one. And then Dolphins Roosters. Who would you say there? You'd probably say there's no one.
Well, it has to be a Dolphins player because like Roosters haven't signed any Dolphins players. Do you know what I mean? Like, 'cause they're new, so it's got to be
Yeah.
like a Roosters players at Dolphins,
I don't know if there is one.
or like one of the Nicaramas maybe. They would have played Roosters early days.
Nah,
You don't reckon?
no, I don't think so. Cody played for the Warriors.
Also, I think Jaden was at the Roosters.
Jaden
But
was at
yeah.
the Roosters, but he's not the Dolphins
Yeah.
at the moment. Watera Zarko, Hammer, Jennings,
Like, there literally just might not be anyone. That's the beauty of the game.
Branko.
Nah, I don't think
Nah.
so. He was like Dogs, Titans, Storm.
Riveting podcasting.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
All right. That's it for the podcast.
Sick.
Cheers for coming on, Winston.
No, thanks for inviting
was
me.
great to have you on for the first off-season episode of the year.
Huge.
And good luck in the off-season. Do you have any plans for the off-season? No.
Save money from not going to all the Bulldog games.
Oh, there you go. There you
Nah,
go.
Yeah. I've like obviously the off season's a weird one because there's no rugby league, so it's harder to do content. But I always find a way.
It's very tough in the off-season. I think this is why it's taken me so long to kind of do this. But
Yeah, the goal is to just like still consistently do podcasts, maybe just fortnightly, and then just try and post TikTok every day.
Yeah.
It's just always the goal.
it's good. Thanks for coming on, and good luck. And follow Winston Neville on TikTok and Orange Peelers
Yeah, thank you.
on your podcasting
Yeah,
platforms.
Winston Neville _ Orange Peelers _ easy to remember.
There you go.
And if you're not subscribed to the podcast already, Supercoach Experience, subscribe.
I actually listened the other day. It was so funny. I pissed myself. You and Zane got a haircut,
Yeah,
and you were like, "Can we get a haircut on a hairdresser on board as a sponsor?"
Surely, that's mate. That's how the mind works. Hairdressers reach out.
Because you're rocking a haircut.
Yeah.
Oh my god, that's ultimate dribble.
Yeah,
All right,
just
cheers for
freak
coming
out.
on, and thanks for tuning in. If you're here listening to the podcast, then you're an absolute legend. So join us next week with the Cast Patrol.
Nice.
They're coming on next week, so they'll be here. It's fucking hot in here.
Yeah, it's warm.
I'll tell you, it's
Warm.
35 degrees in Sydney. But thank you and goodbye.
No, thank you.